What's good, everybody? For this one, I want to talk about the upcoming stuff for Breakers, because this shit is looking real good. Now, by the time I get this video out, we're only gonna be like maybe 1 day away from the Raider transfers that we're supposed to be getting. But these were shown a while back in the VJump pages, as I have on the screen here. Um, these look pretty good, and if you follow the Twitter, you'll see that they've already announced some of the stuff coming with it. And honestly, I think at least two of these will be quote unquote meta or used a lot per se, because we're getting some pretty good stuff, which has me hopeful for things to come. Now, for those who don't know, we're getting on the 28th Cell, Frieza, and Boo as Transpheres for us to equip, complete their supers and skills and all that stuff that comes with a Transphere, right? And the biggest ones I wanted to point out, and the biggest ones that I saw that I was looking at in the scan originally, I'll start with Boo's Go-Go Gum. Now, if you watch my streams and my videos, you know how much I hate this ability on Raider, because I think it's the most free fucking ability in the game. Like, the tracking on it is insane. You lock onto someone, you land it. If they don't dodge or go behind a wall, it's pretty much gonna get them. And it's a fairly long stun. Now, with Survivors getting that now, that's gonna be pretty good. Now, what I'm wondering is, at the time of this, right now it's before it's been released, so I don't know yet. By the time it does release, I will know. Will the Survivor version still have the same tracking that the Raider one does? That's the big thing. That's gonna be the big thing separating it from Krillin Shoe. Because right now, I can only assume it's probably gonna function like the Shoe, where you kind of have to where it just goes in like a straight line. And you gotta hope they don't move. Or, maybe they'll be generous and give us the fucking tracking version that the actual Boo Raider has. But we'll see as that comes out. I think this is gonna be a really good move, depending on if they keep the stun duration the same or not, as compared to the Raiders move. That is one of Boo's best tools. Like, that is one of the things I hate most about facing a smart Boo that actually utilizes their tools. That move can be really annoying, especially when you're in change form. But that move itself is going to be huge. Now, obviously, as with any stun, the breaker or the Raider can bust out of it with a defensive ability. But still, though, if this thing has the cooldown that other stuns have, like 30 seconds baseline usually, like Solar Flare and Shoe has, this is gonna be a really good move to have. Like, more stuns. More stuns are gonna be real good for Survivors, right? Like, more like CC abilities like that. So I feel like that's gonna be a big one, depending on if they don't fuck it up, obviously. And then as for the form itself, boy oh boy, does that make me hope that we get a skinny Boo version of the Majin Buu, of the male Majin Buus in Xenoverse 3. Because I'm not a big Xenoverse player. I played 1 a bunch back in the day. I played 2 a little bit. But if there's one thing I really want in Xenoverse 3, it's to be a skinny Boo. Because Super Boo's one of my favorite villains, and I love his design. I was like, oh, I would love to play as something like that. Too bad male Majins in Xenoverse can only be big and goofy sort of like this build. But that's whatever. But that would be cool to use. And then of course we get Boo's dog. I think his name was his name's B or something. But that's pretty cute. It's probably gonna look all sad when you get down and stuff, which is gonna be it's gonna suck. But right. But on to the big one, like the real big one. I mean, obviously that's big too, the gum. But this Frieza passive that they announced on the Twitter, reduce the cooldown time of Dragon Change. That's I've been wanting that. I was literally thinking, like, maybe about a week ago, I was like, I really hope down the line they do a passive that makes the cooldown faster or shorter for Dragon Change. Now, how it implies, like, well, okay, so like, again, before it came out, we're talking about this before it came out. I'm curious as to if, like, how they go about it, right? So like, if I say my form runs out, do I start with more cooldown? Like do I start with more percentage towards the cooldown, or will it go like is it going up faster per se? I'm assuming it just goes up faster, and then by how much, obviously, because we can only invest up to plus 20 on a passive or a skill. So what are the gains gonna be, right? Like, that's definitely something I'm gonna try to race to pull and then race to max it out. And it's like, how significant is it going to be? Because passive and skill slots are gonna be like precious, right? Like the more good shit we get, the more of those like 4 slots on each is gonna be pretty rough, right? Like right now, I'm already like, fuck, I wish I could run this, but I also want to run that, but I absolutely need this, you know? And it's going to get that point where, me personally, down the line, I hope we get like a 5th passive slot at least. Like, I doubt they'll give us more actives, because, you know, it can't really fit more on the V-pad, it's already 4. But they could always give us another passive. It's just a passive, right? It's not assigned to anything. But I would absolutely love a 5th passive slot, but that's probably way down the line if they ever do that. But this one's probably going to be a guaranteed for a lot of people. Like, especially towards the super time machine phase, right? With when Trunks sending those limited ass cooldown drinks. Because every time it's like I'm completely at level 3, I already used up my charge. I get the 2 cooldown drinks, I'm sitting there like 80-ish%, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to wait a little bit more before I can get back in there. With this, probably won't need to wait as long. So that's probably gonna be the best transfer down in general. It's like I'm just happy this came this early, right? Like, I wasn't expecting something like this to like later down the game's line, you know. And then in the tweet, for Cell, the only thing they talk about is it's the super, the perfect Kameo. I'm like, oh, okay, we can do shit about the super. I want to know about the skill and the passives he brings. So I'm hoping, I'm assuming, like, because maybe we'll get energy barrier. Maybe we'll get like a defensive like that, so that'd be neat. Well, again, we'll see when we get that, but I think that'd be real cool to get. It would also be cool to get like a pass. I would say give us like an auto evolve. Like, I mean, we already have power charge again. It's the 0 to 1. Like, what if he has one that gives us like 1 to 2? I don't know, but we'll see what he gives. But right now, Frieza and the Boo one are looking real good. Again, the Boo one could be, Boo one could be ruined depending on how bad they butcher the skill. But that Frieza one's definitely gonna be good. I feel like even if it's like a very minuscule amount, it's gonna be like real good. I could be wrong though, but we'll see as it comes out. Again, I just wanted to bring that bit up. Now onto the next thing. There's been some data mines. This is one of the data mines. I don't remember the link. I don't remember the. I don't think I have access to the link to the old one, but there was one before this as well, which grabbed the androids as like 17 and 16 as Transpheres. I remember that, and also had like a bunch of like videos of some of the moves and stuff coming. But looking at this one, that it was fairly recent, by Makochi on Twitter. I'll have this up on the screen. These data mines are looking real good. Like, the future of the game's looking real good if they can keep up these updates. So right now we see some well-requested survivors coming: Chi-Chi, Launch, and Hercule. Hercule being the one I want the most. I don't think I'll ever switch off if I do get him. And the fact that he's coming with Dynamite Kick is pretty dope. I can only imagine how it's gonna work against the Raider, if it will actually even damage the Raider or like. But that'll be pretty funny to play around with. I can't wait for that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Now launch coming is a big shocker, but considering how they've given us Dragon Ball, Bulma, and Oolong, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna have a lot of Dragon Ball love in this game. That's good. No other game's really done that. Launch is pretty forgotten. Sneeze transformed. Who knows what that will be? Like, as an ability, it'll be interesting. Like, maybe Angry Launch is like a certain. Maybe it's like a special transformation for that. I don't know how that would translate to the creator character. Like, will you sneeze and go blonde? But it's also like, what would you get during that? Because the main thing she did in that form was like shoot guns and just be angry. It's like, will we get like a gun in that form? It's gonna be pretty interesting to see, and I'm really looking forward to like what they figure out with that. And then Chi Chi's gonna be there, Chi Chi. And then she had the Bond Show fan, which I don't remember that. It was like a filler episode towards like the filler episode towards like the end of Dragon Ball, I think. I don't remember exactly what it did, but looking forward to what they can do with the gameplay wise. And then we have Baba here. I don't think she would be playable, if she could be, but like the fact that it's like Dragon Ball Fortune Teller on there, I feel like she's probably gonna be like a service, right? Like maybe she'll be in the map, you ask her where shit is. Maybe she'll be in like the lobby and do something for you, like some like gotcha reading. I don't know, but if she is a character, cool. It'll be very interesting. I do remember a lot of the choices from the surveys back in the day where they asked people. I remember there's like Bubbles in there and Turtle, and I'm like, that's gonna be real interesting to see how they do some of those, especially like Turtle. How would he get around? But I definitely would love to see like Bubbles and Gregory. That'd be funny. And then down below that we have the future Transpheres, and it's stuff a lot of people would want. It's obviously, the big powerful forms, UI Goku, Super Saiyan God Goku, DBS Broly, Z Broly, and all that. I'll have them all on the screen here, so I don't have to go through each one of them. But getting the fact that they're gonna like even do big powerful stuff like that is gonna be crazy, because we're gonna see our CACs in this game doing that stuff. And I can only imagine like the Broly stuff would be grabs. Like, imagine just grabbing the Raider. That'd be crazy. So I'll look forward to seeing a lot of those. Those will be real interesting. Those are gonna like probably be big for banner pulls, like to get all that stuff. And we've already seen how we already know that like Raiders can still be Transpheres, as with this new update coming. So we could still get Goku Black, we can still get Z Broly. So, and then down a little bit more, it's like stuff from the old files, like Android 16's fists were supposed to be a item. That'd be cool, but I assume they turned it into the Vegeta gloves. And then the previous, loading screen for that and whatnot. And then they showed the hair transformations, which I assume is gonna be the forms part of the Transpheres. We probably have like Super Saiyan forms added to stuff. So that'd be cool to see. That'd be cool to play around with that. Everyone gets to live out their Saiyan fantasies and whatnot. But yeah, that pretty much goes over the stuff I wanted to talk about for this vid. Really looking forward to a lot of this stuff. So hopefully, if those of you who didn't know now some of this stuff coming up. Let me hear your thoughts on like the comments below and whatnot. What you're looking forward to the most, what you want to see, what you think about the new stuff. Obviously, this video is probably only coming out like a day before the Boo, Frieza, and Cell stuff comes out. So by the time you probably see this, you might have already known it. But if so, tell me which ones you like in the comments so far, like that you played around with. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about for this vid. I'll see y'all in the next one. Be easy.